started.
I've never been a bus driver, but I don't like to do it.
So,
I don't work with driving. When I work for the county, it's just part of my job.
Okay, hey, thanks everybody for coming out tonight. We appreciate you. Your interest it means a lot to us. You know, there's a few people that care about this. We can get things done if there's a bunch of us. I want to thank Chilleen for having us here tonight, and we're going to hand this over to Elaine, the leader of our team.
hi, it is so great. You know, I'm hard of hearing, so I talk loudly. Anyway, we're so glad to see all of you here. I think what makes this so special is I've worked here for 30 years, and this is the first actual election I'm aware of that the district has held. Is that?
I don't think that mic's working.
She's not talking in it.
Oh, well.
There we go.
She doesn't really want.
Okay.
It's okay, whatever you're comfortable with, Elaine.
So, the fact that this year we are having an election is something we should all be so proud of. This is truly amazing. We do not have one board member that has been elected on the current board. All of them have been appointed. And so, this is great. Anyhow, I'm going to make a brief opening statement, and then Melina's going to share some information about herself, then Tom, then I, and then we'll be happy to take questions from all of you. This election is an important opportunity for all of us to shape the future of our water district and in turn our community. And when it comes to a mix of emotions, excitement, hope, and yes, even some tension, we understand that campaigns can sometimes lead to hurt feelings, differences of opinion that create divisions. However, we want to emphasize that this campaign is about more than individual or personal disagreements. It's about the future of the Black Canyon City Water Improvement District and advocating for what's best for its owners and users. Okay? CRS, there are two versions of it. The polite one, creating real solutions, and then the one, can't remember, well, you know. And CRS is us, but I read that the Oxford Dictionary has a definition for the as being something excellent. So I don't think Tommy minds being called as much now.
The S.
Okay, so CRS is unwavering in our commitment to a positive campaign that is centered on the issues that matter and will not focus on personal differences. We firmly believe that any differences between candidates can and will be resolved after the election. Our focus remains resolute. Ensuring a transparent, accountable, and well-managed water district that serves the best interests of the community. We invite you to look beyond the campaign rhetoric and focus on the platforms, the skills, and the values each candidate brings, as they will shape or help shape the future of our district. We are committed to a future where transparency and accountability, something that is seriously lacking presently, are at the core of every board decision and where the interests of the owner users come first. We are deeply grateful for your support and for being a part of this important process. And regardless of the outcome, we have faith in the strength of our community. Together, we can strive towards a more unified water district. And how we got here, just so you all know, how did we three end up here? Over a year ago, Tom began reaching out to owner users, reminding them of the upcoming election and encouraging people to consider running for a board position. And he did this relentlessly. I was at a critical part in my master's program at the time and wasn't sure if I could commit to running, and I didn't want to make a promise I couldn't keep. A few people expressed an interest, but no one followed up, including Vivian Castro. Eventually, two individuals did come forward at different times, recognizing that this was their opportunity to make a difference for our district and in the community. Robert Zahara and Melina Reylek stepped up when no one else did. And we spent, the four of us, spent months together discussing strategies, solutions, and the district's future. And now I can. With the page. Once I knew I could commit to running, one of the candidates, Robert Zahara, graciously stepped down, and understanding that the remaining three candidates had the most vital collective skill set to move the district forward. Melina, for example, has a bachelor's in integrated studies and extensive experience in grant writing. She has had an 11-year career with Yavapai County and is familiar with county operations. And if you can survive that for 11 years, you deserve a medal, really. She is one of the best writing partners I have ever had, I swear. She was sitting next to me and we're working on writing some processes and procedures, and I was just like, holy mackerel. She made me look better than I am, actually. And her unique skill set will be invaluable to the board. So, Vivian's interest in serving on the board became urgent 3 months before the election. From the start, we told her we valued her passion and believed she would be a future asset to the board, but the timing was just not right. She's only attended 2 board meetings and has a limited familiarity with the board history or current issues. She's only lived here 2 years. She has experience on an HOA, but not a government entity board, and they're totally different. Meanwhile, I spent 2 years, Tom over 1.5 years, and Melanie at least 8 months preparing, and we're ready to hit the ground running. This is time to make a strategic, informed decision, so please remember to keep principles before personalities. The future of our district depends on choosing the best candidates, the best combination of skills, the diverse skill set that will be able to meet all of the needs of the board. And we believe CRS, the new 3 for BCCWID, is the best one. Okay, so I keep wanting to call her Melania. I don't know, I've been reading about Melania. and I'm sorry, but you are just as elegant as her. So. Such a good bird.
Hi everyone, my name is Reylek, and I'm happy to be here tonight. As some of you may know, I was the librarian in town for over 11 years. That was the best job I ever had, and it broke my heart and my spirit when I had to let it go. It's been a long while, but God has given me another calling, and that is to serve this community by protecting your interests in the Water District. I was born in Phoenix in the 1960s, when long summer days were spent playing in and drinking from the hose. We moved to the Bay Area around 1973, where I spent my time in high school. After graduation, I sold flowers on the corner in San Jose for about 5 years. I made $5 to $20 a day, and I was able to survive on that. After that, I spent some time in North Carolina, and I returned to Phoenix in 1984, where I earned an associate's degree from Linda Community College and a bachelor's from ASU West Campus. I became disabled in the late 80s and I was awarded $500 a month from Social Security. From that, by the grace of God, I was able to purchase a mobile home, pay the lot rent, and the electric bill, all while raising my son alone. I came to Black Canyon City in 2004 and fell in love with it immediately. The mountains, the mesas, and the river when it flows. I love the closeness and the helpfulness of the people that call this place home, and I am proud to call Black Canyon City my forever home. I want to serve on the board because I am distressed and slightly irritated by the issues that have come to light in recent months. If the board needs help, they should say so. I am sure folks in town would all pitch in when, where, and how they're needed. We've done it before. The skills I will bring to the board include leadership, planning, scheduling, budgeting, problem solving, prioritizing, acquisitions, record management, and grant writing. I have a basic understanding of the issues we are facing, and I believe that with proper oversight, we can meet these challenges. I believe in principles before personalities, and it is my desire to bring this philosophy to the board. I encourage each and every one of you here tonight to read about the concerns we have and to discuss it with your friends, families, and neighbors so you can make informed choices. I encourage you to attend the Water District meetings from this day forward. You have a right to be there and a right to voice your concerns. The issues, as I see them, are having loans or grants, which is a really hot topic. Public money infringements as lawyer fees, the amount of nepotism in the district, the lack of bylaws in the policies, the lack of response from customer complaints, unnecessary meter replacements, refusal to release documents, a deteriorating system, and inconsistencies in billing. I'm going to introduce Tom. I didn't do this last time. This is Tom. He's next.
And Tom is
Thank you, Melinda.
we got to really give him a shout out for putting the sound system together. He really did a great job.
Thank you to David Allen Overwalker for bringing this PA for us. We didn't know how many people would show up, but it's better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So here it is. And I'm sure it makes it a little easier for everybody to hear us. So anyhow, without taking too long to get to this. So hi, thanks everybody for being here. I want to begin by sharing a little bit about myself. I grew up on the East Coast in a small New Jersey town where I lived until I was 30. Been in Arizona for over 35 years and right here in BCC for 25 years. Recently retired, which is why I'm able to offer my volunteer service to our community. Made a living as a trucker, stagehanding, and running a small business. Been single most of my life and found that a brief marriage was plenty enough for me. Anyhow, I participated in a number of charitable organizations and events throughout the years, and still do today when I'm able. Some of you may have seen me out doing volunteer sound mixing for bands at local charity events, and may have seen the at fundraisers and such. A lot was here at Chilleen's actually. I've done a lot of that work. Also just did a 2-year run with David Allen and the VFW band at the VFW. So I was there on Wednesday nights for about 2 years or so. Volunteer sound on that. So, but I'd like to give a big shout out to Dave for having the PA bringing this actually here for us, delivering it for our convenience, and really, really nice of him to do this for us and for the community, because this helps the community. If there was a real lot of people here today, we would be sure we would need this PA. We probably could get by without it right now, but as long as it's here, we're going to use it. Good crap. Okay, so anyhow, let's see here. So anyhow, I think most of you know me. You know I love this town. I don't have a lot of clerical skills, and I've always just been a laborer and working man. But what I do have is wisdom, integrity, common sense, and the ability to bring common sense solutions to the table. I'm quickly learning many of the aspects of operating a water improvement district and small community water systems. So now you might be wondering why I'm here with this team offering to serve on our Water Improvement District Governing Board and how I got involved. In my last year and a half of attending and recording the board meetings, I've learned firsthand that there's a need for change in our leadership and representation. I became aware that there are a lot of problems with the current situation, and that we've had a self-appointed board for so many years that people have forgotten these positions are electable. I learned that there was a chronic problem with nepotism and conflicts of interest prevailing in leadership and management. From all this, I deduced that volunteers were badly needed to change this course. Sadly, there's been a shortage of people willing to serve for a very long time. For example, we've had at least one vacant seat on the board for well over 2 years. So, over a year ago, I started trying to find people to run in this year's election. A few people were interested, but nobody followed through and stepped up. As the clock ticked down, Elaine and I knew that we had to step up and register to get on the ballot. 2 more fine people stepped up to join us just in time to get on the ballot, which gave us some breathing room and flexibility, as we now had 4 good people to run for 3 available seats. After strategizing, one candidate kindly offered to withdraw to give us better odds of winning as a team of 3 candidates for 3 available seats. Big shout out to Robert Zahara for being there for us and doing what was right for the community. We appreciate that very much. So anyhow, here I am as one of the final team of the new 3 for BCCWID. Many of you know that I strongly believe in our founding fathers' vision that government is of, a government that is of, by, and for the people best represents us. And that's why I'm here offering to be your voice in this government. I know I can represent you well because I have no special interest, family or friends in management or on the board. Not going to take too long. Flip the page this time. Hey, I'm still learning here. New with this. Okay. Anyhow, this is getting done now. Okay, so anyhow, bear with me if you will. I have some very good ideas and innovations to bring to the table, as well as viable solutions to many of the problems we're facing. For example, I'd like to start obtaining grants to make long overdue upgrades and improvements to our system infrastructure. I'd like to utilize the cost-free assistance available for districts like ours to better manage their funds and operations. I propose making call to public mandatory at all regular meetings because our voices need to be heard always. I believe transparency, accountability, and fiscal responsibility are extremely important. And keeping owners, users, well informed on all important matters at all times is extremely important. The success of our water improvement district relies heavily on the cooperation and participation of all the parties involved. And I strongly encourage you to get involved and participate in the process with us. We, the owner users, are the only oversight for this district, for our district. So it's really up to us. Do we just blindly trust that things are being done in our best interest, which I don't believe they are, or do we stand up and require that they be done in our best interest? We all need to be a part of this water district to make it work best. Right now, we are a failing district with a crumbling infrastructure due to many years of neglect. But we work hard, if we work hard, in unity as a team, we can be one of the finest little water districts in the country. And in closing, I just want to emphasize that I'll never be a rubber stamp vote for anyone, and I'll always put your best interests first, to the best of my ability. In this election, you have a choice and a voice. I'm asking for your trust and for your vote, and I'd be honored to represent you as a member of our BCCWID governing board. I appreciate your time and consideration. Thanks, everyone. Without further ado, I give it back to our awesome team leader, Clayton.
So I'm going to give the abbreviated version. I'm going to save the long version for my children when they come to visit and they have Alzheimer's, and then I can just read the long version over and over again. So I'll do the short part here. Might be surprising, but that's okay. I am a full-time graduate student at Midwestern University in the Adult Gerontology Family Nurse Practitioner Program. So I'm sticking to my age group of people that I serve. And I just have 2 clinical rotations remaining to graduate. I took a short leave to focus on the board, my candidacy, and really trying to make a dent in getting to the bottom of these issues. Over the past 2 years, I've dedicated countless hours to research and documenting long-standing issues within our district. My commitment to addressing these issues or these concerns is unwavering, and I feel compelled to see this through. And as a Christian, I often ask myself, why am I doing this? I want to pull a Jonah and go the other way, but somehow here I am. So I have to see it through. I come from a long line of Arizona cotton farmers, and I was raised with a strong work ethic. I was raised on a farm. I was born in Tucson because they didn't have hospitals in Morena. I later moved to Chandler, Arizona, and moved around a few times, and ended up in Black Canyon City nearly 30 years ago, 30 years in January. I'm not a city girl, and so the city was wearing on me. My background in farming and small town living has deeply shaped my values of hard work, integrity, and community service. So, go over my educational background, and again, I know where my help comes from because I was not smart enough to do all of this on my own. I just think when I look back, when I moved to BCC 30 years ago this January, I had a GED. I had a GED with dreams of what was possible. And today, so in 2000, I completed my RN degree at Gateway Community College. I finished a bachelor's degree at ASU in 2010, and I was voted, I was student of excellence at the end of the program. I have a master's in healthcare innovation. I graduated from ASU in 2017. My master's is in progress, and as a part of the master's degree, I had to take classes, doctoral classes in finance management I'm a certified K-12 substitute teacher, and I subbed for about 5 years, including here at Cannon Elementary. I'm a former certified industrial hygiene and safety vocational instructor. I worked adjunct faculty for Gateway College, so I could get 6 hours of free tuition. And work experience. I'm not going to go through all of that. I'm going to give you just a couple of things that really I think impacted me and influenced me throughout the course of my career. Accounting and finance. I started as a waitress, but then I got tired of that and thought, I'm going to try accounting and finance. I worked in a bank, the accounting department at Mashers, and I assisted a CPA with personal, small business, and corporate clients. I had a love of learning. I just couldn't get enough. And so when I started in finance, I wanted to learn everything I can. And then construction. I worked as a laborer. I moved to Northern California. They closed the facility where I was working in accounting, and I thought, I'm gonna do some construction work. And I happened to have met the labor liaison for OSHA, and I was told, wow, working in asbestos removal and hazardous materials removal is huge. And I thought, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. So I started as a laborer, went to foreman, project manager, industrial hygienist, safety specialist, and safety specialist in Northern California. And I was a health and safety technician for Motorola for about 5 years on 57th Street. In healthcare, for 2 years I was the director of nursing at Horizon at the Alhambra prison facility, managing healthcare operations for the Arizona Department of Corrections. There was about 100 staff, ancillary nurses, etc. And I had to manage complex budgets, essentially. What that means is budgets with no money when I usually. Volunteer work. House Bill 2160. I look out over you guys, and I am so proud to say that this community, this water district, was instrumental in bringing House Bill 2160 to fruition. That closed the gap, an incredible gap for all special water districts. Before, special water districts really did not have to be audited or submit a budget to the county. Water or fire did, and I think roads, but not special water districts. So we looked at the issues surrounding that. We developed a problem statement. We gave it to Representative Bliss. She took it to her people. They wrote a bill, and I was so blessed to go to the House to testify. And there's a story there. And then I was able to go to the Senate. And in July, and that bill passed, and in July it became a law. And this month I'm going to a conference to learn how House Bill 2160 is going to affect small districts and what we have to do to incorporate it into our regular budget. And this just brings a huge level of accountability that was not there before. And when I sit in these conferences and I look at House Bill 2160, my heart just fills with pride because that's what my Canyon City did. That's what we wanted teachers here did. So I know that we can do this. So for 2 years, yeah, I did that one. So volunteer work, special district conferences. I went to the special district Alliance conference, and that was amazing. This month I'm going to the special district conference. I'm going to the special district, the Rural Water Association of Arizona 2-day conference. I get so excited talking about House Bill 2160, I can't even think. That's just, And these conferences are so important. And I know that the Water District went to the kickoff in Flagstaff, but they didn't join. They are trying to operate out of a silo. They don't have any input coming in from outside resources regarding grants, better methods of conducting district assessments. And I've shared all this information with Tom and Melina, and we have the resources available, from the resources to train coordinators, resources to come in and do assessments and inventories and all of that at no cost. We need to get a handle on where this district is as far as infrastructure. And in finances, the board continues to rob Peter to pay Paul. They take money out of the capital funds improvement account for certain things, and then they'll take it out of the arson sinking fund, the general account, and all of this to pay for maintenance and repairs. And yet, year to date, they've spent $33,000 on attorneys to defend themselves against complaints that the owner users filed that they are being investigated for. So they're taking out a loan, and yet, in essence, they're robbing Peter to pay Paul, and then they're spending thousands on legal fees.
They are slowly looking things now that we've brought these things to their attention.
Yeah.
They are slowly, what they're talking to Kathy the mayor. Is that correct?
Right.
They did help, or I'm not sure, with RCAC, local communities, assistance corporation. They did enlist help for the inventory, the system inventory. And they kind of said that they did that because they felt like if they had that kind of oversight or something, it would kind of make things go a little more smooth in that area.
And I think we would appreciate everyone keeping in mind that we do boldly call out the board. We boldly call out the board in management, and we address what we see as issues. But if we assert that there is an issue, we have documentation or valid evidence to support our claim. But when we go to the board and when it's time to sit down and start talking about how to resolve these issues, then it will be an attitude of collegiality and collaboration. So there are 2 points. There's us out here boldly claiming what the district needs to look at because they refused to when we went to them and kindly asked. And then there's us sitting at the board table knowing that our only concern needs to be doing what's in the best interest of the district and remembering that principles before personalities. And so we know that we can do that. We know that our hope is that because we'll balance out the vote, instead of everyone just always voting yay or whatever the board chair wants, we are unique and individual enough to be able to vote whatever we think is right, even if it's not agreeing with each other. But we know we will accomplish that without with grace. Okay, that's it. Any questions? What?
Having a research board outside your board is really important. You don't have that. So you probably couldn't hear me, you probably already heard me. So
No, we can't hear you.
Okay, so, because I don't know what you're hearing out there, but I was just saying that she might mention that it's really important that there be 3 of us that are not the establishment, because otherwise the establishment controls the whole situation and nothing, we don't really have a voice, we don't have a vote. So, that we need in order to make the change. We need the 3 new people, the new 3 for BCCWID. Here we are offering ourselves up for this. And I have to say honestly, this is my by one time only. I couldn't do this again, quite honestly. So anyhow, this is what I offer to Black Canyon City. My thanks and appreciation for 25 of those years. Okay.
I again want to just really emphasize the importance of looking at skill sets. And it is so important to have a varied skill set on any board, on any team, because they each can bring a different perspective, and those different perspectives often result in unimaginable creative ideas. And that's why I got a degree in innovation. And we believe that we have the best skill set. Our combined skill sets are diverse, and they complement each other, allowing us to accomplish so much more together in being aware of the issues and the statutes. So that's when that we can hit the ground running. And the other thing we'd like to emphasize is that the other person running for a board position is already on another board. And because there are so many issues on this board and there's so much work to be done, I really think that we need to be able to solely focus on the water board without any other distractions or coordinations. And that's it. Any questions?
Here, wait. I got a mic right here.
I see. So wow, I feel like I'm sort of a recording studio or something.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
My name is Greg Watts. I'm one of the water users. Yes. Well, I want to bring something up to your attention. Can you bring up the Carrie Ansel lawsuit, what transpired and what happened and what it cost us water users? Because the board failed to address him when he went to them and what it cost us. Thank you.
See, it's 2-1. I have to concede. So I think I shared Carrie Ansel with most of you when we met. Maybe
Thank you, Greg.
all of you may not be aware of it. So Carrie Ansel was a disaster of all times. The board allowed their favorite contractor, Tony Chandler, to undertake a capital improvement project for BCCWID. Randy Rabina was the field supervisor at the time, so he was responsible for making sure that all of the proper paperwork was presented. For example, a certificate of insurance from Tony Chandler. And this did not happen. Tony and Randy trespassed on Carrie Ansel's property. They made changes that Carrie Ansel did not approve of, and Carrie Ansel looked at his property one day and went, well, who did this? He went to a board meeting. The board refused to let him speak. He was going to come to the next board meeting, but as the board is known to do, they didn't post the board meeting dates or the date where it wasn't accurate. So he missed the next meeting. He wrote a letter and he took it to the next meeting and presented it to the board. Well, actually, he presented it in advance. They read it. They again refused to let him speak, wouldn't let him say a word. And so the only choice he had was to sue. He had to sue the board to go back and correct what they did on his property. And he did. And the board refused, actually, I won't go there. The board refused to discuss any possible resolution to this. So Carrie Ansel sued. The district ended up spending $250,000 on legal fees. Part of that may have been a settlement to Carrie Ansel. They lost, and the owner users paid the $250,000 out of our account. It was a mess. And I now filed a claim with the district's D&O insurance, not only only to reimburse us for the fees from the Carrie Ansel lawsuit, but also for the fees that they are creating right now to defend themselves from the complaints we filed.
They're looking at your.
Right. Anyone else?
Can you hear me all right? Or would you rather that I use that?
I'm sorry, what?
We can hear you, I mean,
No. I better use this.
however you feel, we're all, this is all cash, pretty much, right?
All right, well, thank you very much for having this meeting. I've been on the account as an owner, consumer since 1980s, mid-1980s. So we've gotten a lot of bills. That seems like the city not changed very much through most of this time, which I'm thankful for actually. But now, let me come to the point is, thank you very much. This is the first ever community session in 25 years that I've worked on.
Right.
Thank you.
Thank you for recognizing that.
And I'm making a point of this, and I came to talk about this because of this meeting, because I was afraid, writer, historian, I do a lot of deep things on a lot of deep things. And right now there's a massive movement underway. It's a planetary globalist agenda item to seize control over all the resources on the planet through various means of infiltration and consolidation and so forth. And I was afraid that when I got your little thing, the little circular that was in the mailboxes,
Maybe we're part of that or something.
that you guys are calculators.
Yeah.
And I see that you're not.
No,
And
we're
I'm
totally-
very thankful for that. I'm very appreciative.
Yeah, right.
Thank you again from the bottom of my heart.
Yeah.
You've got my
We're totally against
You
all-
totally
I
got my
am
heart.
anyhow. You are, I'm sure.
But do you have a question?
Okay. Well, this is important to say. I mean, you need this.
We need to know what you guys are going through.
All right.
I mean, that was a concern. You voiced a
We're not
concern.
gonna do that.
Well, I'm glad that there's community. I hope it continues. I hope you guys can do things that will continue this kind of a situation where we can meet each other and talk and get things communicated. Are you guys all on board on that?
Will you please come to the meeting?
Yeah.
If we're on the board, we will definitely want to make sure that there's, like I said, I feel that every regular meeting needs to have a call to public.
Well, we've never gotten any notices, so.
Yeah, so that,
Right, I just said, well, I got my water, I paid my bill, I get the water,
Right.
it's cool, but, okay, now here's another concern. This is a big concern.
that way you can order these pretty much.
A big concern that's coming is that a lot of people are not going to quite get on board this idea, but there is bio-warfare going on in this planet. And we've been hit with a bio-war. We haven't had a COVID pandemic, we had a bio-war attack. And I spent 5 years studying this and writing a major series of informations about this. But this is not going to necessarily take the form of the vaccines.
Right, but
They're going to take the form.
the water system.
They're going to, there'll be a variety of means that are used. There's been talk about it, speculation about it coming through the water. I doubt it, but it might be an issue. And so, the question is how can this community organize itself to be able to perceive or be monitoring or looking for, the possibilities that this is coming down the pipe. We need to do this. And we need to do it more than individually, we need to do it as a group.
That's not something the board can do. I mean, the water, we're dealing with the water here. Like, that would be something like maybe a preparedness group.
Yeah,
Something to that effect, but that's out of our scope. We're giving everything we have into the water, the very lifeblood of our existence here.
Right.
And so that's what we have to give. We can't solve everything. You know what I mean? That's way outside of our scope.
Well, one of the ways of
I'm
doing
very
this,
educated on everything that you're talking about. I'm very well educated.
one of the ways that this is going to come is the recommendation that, you've got to adjust the water with adding this, or you've got to adjust this. You got to get these little things that we packages that we mail to you, you've got to put it in the water. And I guess I would say I hope everyone would always check any of this stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, are you saying people on the board that were like, yeah, we don't want to fluoridate the water, we don't want to, we don't want to put, what is it they're talking about? Something lithium in the water.
Yeah.
We don't want to put lithium in the water. I'm a no-go.
I see you've got some knowledge about this.
Oh yeah. But this is more mainstream kind of work and more basic. So this we'll try to keep it in that scope.
Yeah.
Okay. But I mean, if there's anything you'd like to see, in the future, like would you like to see different hours for meetings so that you can make meetings, or would you like to see different office hours so that maybe you could pay your bill on a Saturday? Are there changes and things that we can do to improve?
Most of that stuff, I'm okay with it. Just I'm very concerned about it.
Yeah, as far as the threats that we face, I mean, the threats of
Can we see if someone else has some questions about the district?
yeah, everybody,
Yep. Okay. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Thanks for your point. Anyone else have any questions? One thing I did forget to mention, and I'm not going to toot my horn, but I need a microphone. It just distracts me, and my train of thought is just not. So I was going to share, two of the things that I experienced that somehow affected me for the duration. It still affects me. And that was when I was working in the semiconductor industry. I noticed that all of these contractors, that they went to SGS, Motorola, Intel, all of the different semiconductor facilities, every contractor would have to pay for all of their people to go through a training program at each facility. And it was repetitive. It was essentially the same stuff. And I'm seeing this and I thought, this makes no sense. So I talked to some of the building trades. I was a fan of Local 469, some of the IBW, and we said we need to develop training curricula specific for the semiconductor industry that meets the requirements of all of them. We can't continue sending everybody to these boring classes that is just more of what you heard at the last one. So we developed the Southwest Safety Training Alliance. You can Google it. It's no longer functioning. But I knew the director of the Directorate of Construction in Washington from having worked in the Bay in construction, and he sent a liaison out, and we got contractors, union, non-union, all of the trades, anybody on a semiconductor site, people that couldn't stand each other, that didn't want to talk to each other, that thought the other guy was just bad. And we got them all in a very large conference room, and we spent 2 days going over all of this. And in the end, we came out with a huge victory. And subsequently, there All of the people going to work on a semiconductor site went to just a series of training classes. They got a card, and that was it. And it saved thousands of dollars for the contractors and the semiconductor industry. And I wanted to emphasize that because I still believe it's possible to bring a group of people together where they don't think they have anything common, to find the commonalities and to work from that, and the outcome can be surprisingly amazing. And I think that's what we can do here. There are so many resources out there that we have access to, that we know about, but the board will not let us follow through on any of it because we have to have their permission. And so our hands are tied. Your vote will untie our hands.
Okay, I have permission.
Why don't you do whatever?
She said do whatever I want.
Yeah, you better.
Let's see how you sound out.
I just wanted to let you guys know, one of, someone that I talked to earlier had this question. The other two candidates that are running, Moore and Herbrina, are the incumbents on the board. Castro is the other one. She's a write-in candidate. But it's really important, if we three don't stick together, you're going to be stuck with two incumbents and Ms. Castro. And we don't know if she can stand up to those guys, quite honestly. But together, we feel that we can. So I just want you to be aware of the incumbents that are already on the board.
That's why you CS or CRS. Can't remember. You got the last one?
How many board members are there?
What?
How many, what's the total number of board members?
5.
Five.
No.
No.
I mean, you can ask the question in that.
My name is Vivian Castro.
So if you have a question,
If you're saying,
you like to speak, so you
you said that if you three don't win and the other two incumbents are on board and I get on, it'll just be us three, are you dropping out if you win and you don't win?
If we don't win, we are dropped out.
Okay.
We will still be members of this community.
Yes.
In the board meeting.
So if you say everybody say I win, you win, and nobody voted a lot for you. So Elena and Tom, are you gonna drop out if that happens?
absolutely not. We're here to serve the community. That's a very good question. Thank you. Yeah. No, we will work with you.
Thank you.
And we'll do the very best we can. You know, we've offered ourselves for a 4-year term for this community, and so we're all in for this. Am I speaking for all of us?
I think the concern is, Vivian, is that we don't know. Vivian is just not prepared. 2 board meetings and demonstrating an interest 3 months ago when she reached out almost a year ago, and we have worked diligently so that we can start boots on the ground, if you will. We can do boots on the ground. And I don't have that same confidence in Vivian's knowledge or in her knowledge of the district, the issues, or of how the special district operates. That was it.
And we do have some really good hours in on this.
Anything else?
Hold on.
Oh, Greg. If not, it's time to.
Another reason why we need to elect these people is David Moore gets to pick and choose whether we have public call monthly meetings. And if we want him to put something on the agenda that the board can address, you have to email him at least 1 week before the meeting. And I did that 2 different times. One was like 3 weeks in advance, one was 1 week in advance. And what I found out going to a board meeting by Randy Rubino, he said we have certain people in our water district that have their own private wells. And he said that if their well has more water pressure than the water coming from the district, that well will turn his water meter backwards so they're not being charged. And that water will go into our pipes to people's homes. Now, we're required for our water district through the EPA and stuff to have our water filtered to their standards. But private wells don't have that requirement. And I asked him to put on the agenda, I wanted to know, have you notified the EPA that our private well water is getting to the system, and have you notified the owner users that their water might be contaminated? I want to have this brought up and let us know. Well, what did he do? He didn't put it on the agenda, and that next meeting, Randy Rubino took away a call to the public. So I'm an owner user, and we didn't even get it. I didn't even get a chance to have that addressed. But I know these people here, they're going to do that. They're going to listen to the owner users. And they can go through these, but that's another reason why we need to elect these 3 people. Thank you.
Okay, so it's 7 o'clock, and we want to really thank all of you for coming.
Nobody else?
No, we asked. Anybody have questions? Anybody?
Or anybody else?
We answer everything.
Anybody wants to voice concerns or anything?
This debate is good debate.
Thursday.
It would be the 4, and potentially the 6, but definitely the 4.
So he asked about the debate on Thursday. There is a debate at the Cannon Elementary School auditorium. It's held by the League of Women Voters of Central Yavapai County. And it's a professional debate. They have podiums, they've got our time lights, they've got, mics get shut off when it's my turn to speak. And all 6 candidates have been invited to that event. So that's at 6 p.m. Cannon School this Thursday. So thank you for asking about that.
All right, thank you.
Are you guys on the state, in the state, voting guy?
Thank you everybody for coming out. And thank you very much, Chilleen, for having us here.
Oh, have you?
Yes, sir. We will be on the ballot.
Yeah.
Under special districts.
Right, yes. So, a very good question about the ballot. And
I was
let's
kind
get
of
on the
afraid
ballot. So
you have kind of that.
there are 5 candidates that will be on the ballot. And if you live in the district, you're registered to vote from Yavapai County, you should get your ballot. You'll either receive a sample ballot if you vote at the election center on election day, or if you vote by mail, you'll get your ballot in the mail. So we'll be there. Yes. Well, thank you. We really appreciate you coming out.
Nice meeting you.
What do you have?
I am aware of it.